Paul McCartney had something. Paul McCartney's coming out almost every single. He was on MRN, or not MRN, NPR.
MRN.
Racing Network would have been really. Although I think he'd probably be on MRN too. He was on NPR the other day, and he has got a brand new book out called Lyrics.
He's got an album out too, right?
No, Paul McCartney 3 came out a couple of years ago, I think. But and it's called Lyrics, and he breaks down all the lyrics of the Beatles songs. He is like, you know how something like your car drives really good right before it breaks down?
Yeah.
He is driving really well. I mean, he's everywhere right now. So anyways, he was great. I listened to the interview, and he was talking about, all the lyrics that I've written for particular songs. Hey, he listened to a lot of Beatles lyrics outside Sgt. Pepper's and some of those weird albums, like White Album and stuff like that, and they're singing songs about little piggies and things like that, and what the lyrics meant. And they did a lot of songs about love.
Yeah.
And he admitted, it's interesting, he admitted that he never told John Lennon he loved him.
Did he tell George Harrison he loved him?
That wasn't the question.
I know.
But he's like, I just realized that I never said I love you to John.
Oh.
And he said, and I love John a lot.
Okay. Now that's different.
Now, when you read the headline, it looks like he's in a tiff.
Yes.
Paul never said I love you to John.
Yeah, that's
like,
that's where I thought you were going.
And so I had to read the story. He wanted to. He said, but as 16 and 17-year-old blokes in Liverpool, it wasn't cool.
No.
He's like, you can't tell another buddy you love him. And I was like,
yeah, no, I get that. But they were together a lot longer than 16 and 17.
Well, I know, right?
What about when he was 30 and 40 and 50?
He said it's just not something you do. You don't do it. It's not something you do. And I'm like, is it something you don't do or something that your culture said you didn't do?
Yeah.
Because I say I love you probably 50 times a day.
Yeah, well, you're I
don't overuse it.
No, you don't, but you're not an anomaly, but you use it more than other people. I was just thinking about that. Is that a man-woman thing? No?
I don't know. Women don't use it nearly as... I don't hear a lot of women... I hear women saying it to their kids.
Yeah, because...
I hear it saying to their husbands.
Yep.
Now, Rachel Barbeau is an anomaly because Rachel Barbeau...
Well, Rachel is the love.
But I love the way she says it. She's like, not love you, L-U-V, not love you, period, not I heart you. She said, if I love you, I love you. Yeah. And so I write, I love you. Now, if it's someone you hadn't seen in a long time and you don't really love them, but it was great seeing you, love you.
Yeah.
She don't write that either. She's like, this ain't something I play with. I either love you or I don't. And she said, I can love you after I meet you one time because there's all times of different love.
Yep.
Okay. And so, I make it a point whenever and I've written love you before and I'm like, okay, is it enough? Do I like this person enough to put I in front of I love you?
Well, yes.
And I certainly don't do it to my kids. I text my kids a lot. I love you. Yeah. I think it's important. I love you, not love you, because love you is just.
Love you.
Well, but I mean.
No, it's interesting. Well, see, but here's
you've done that.
Yeah. No, but here's the other.
But you've written I when you mean it, and I want you to mean it, not like in passing.
There's different levels of it. Like, I mean, you're right. You're right, but something that I learned, it almost feels like it's a Southern thing because I don't, and maybe it's an age thing because I never did it. Well, when I lived in LA, we didn't have text. But here, it's both written and said. Men will say, love you, brother.
Yeah.
I never heard that. I'd never seen that. And I remember.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. It caught me off guard the first time. And it's almost like it's this socially appropriate way for men to not to say something more than to express more emotion than nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Because particularly, again, part of this gets weird because we didn't have text.
You ever say love you, brother, to someone and they don't say it back?
Yeah. A lot of my LA friends.
Yeah, but okay, this is good because
in text. Now in text,
okay.
They don't
text you back.
No, they'll text me back.
No, they don't text you love you back.
Yeah, actually, they will. They say love you.
Because I think texting love you doesn't mean as much saying it in person, obviously.
Oh, sure.
But that may be something that you're onto that doesn't make them feel comfortable because you haven't said that to them in the past.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that, I've told you, so I have the same group of friends that we were from kindergarten on.
Yep.
We've all kind of gone our separate ways, but we stay in contact to various degrees and via text, and there's enough contact there. As we get older, as our kids grow up, as we have different health problems, that whole mortality thing, mm-hmm. I think we get more comfortable saying, "Love you, man." Oh, that was it. That's it. L.A. is love you, man.
Love you, man.
Love you, man.
Yeah.
Here it's love you, brother.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a Southern thing or not.
Yeah, man is like, I've used man a lot, but I'll never say love you, man. Like I'll say love you, man to someone that I don't really, I don't know.
What are we talking?
I don't know, man. Because I don't throw around the word love a lot.
No.
Now a lot of people would say, okay, whatever. I do to the people that I really love.
Yes, and you love.
Now I'll say I appreciate you.
Oh, that's good. That's a Southern. See, that's a Southern thing too. There's a lot of Southern.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you. You ain't brother. Quite the love yet, but I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. See,
I may say that to a woman.
But you see that even when you said that with an enhanced Southern accent.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
I'll say that to anybody. I'll say I go through Zaxby's drive-thru. Yeah, I appreciate you. Because people love to be appreciated. That means a lot to somebody when they say I appreciate you, because they, regardless of whether it's serving my meal correctly or pumping my, whatever it is.
Right, because it's not I appreciate that. Appreciate that you did that. It's I appreciate you.
It's not even appreciate your help. It's I appreciate you.
Yeah. Where are you going with this?
You'll never hear that. I just think it's amazing that you had two of the best songwriters in the history of.
Oh, right.
Yeah. He also mentioned the fact that he said that John and himself wanted to be the Everly Brothers. He said the best twosome in the history, said better than the Beatles. The Everly Brothers were better than the Beatles as far as the songwriting skills. And he had these two really good-looking dudes who wrote hundreds of great songs together. He said, John and I always wanted to be the Everly Brothers. Which I thought was really, really interesting.
Wonder what he thinks about it. Like, did he talk about, I'm sure in the book, talk about Mick Jagger, Elton John? Does he talk about, it's just so interesting to look, and then go all the way down to, like the Ed Sheerans. And what does someone like Paul McCartney think? Well, hell, he didn't, but he did a trio with Kanye and Rihanna.
Yeah.
It's just, I always find it interesting, the grand old people in the field. Who are they inspired by, or not who are they inspired? Who do they think are great?
Yeah.
Who are they, who do they think are great performers, particularly with the Beatles? And the thing with the Beatles, I'm not a big Beatles fan. I don't dislike the Beatles.
Shame on you.
No, I don't dislike. I shouldn't say that, because I don't dislike the Beatles. It's not like I can't stand their music. Other than a few songs, it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah. Well, it should, because
why?
Because we wouldn't have the rest of classic rock without them in a lot of ways.
No, I understand that, but I like the stuff that I like what they created amongst other artists.
Yeah.